guys, this is your boy Shredder here. Bringing you another OUTERPLANE video today. We're going to be looking at Iris, the 2-star mage, who specializes in applying burns. And we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at what burns do and how they scale damage. So this is my Iris. She's level 100. She's got some passable gear on. I just tried to go for, as much attacks as I could get. 50% crit chance and a little bit of speed, so she's absolutely nothing special, but she does the job well. So we'll take a quick look at her skills here, and you can see I've got really minimal, almost no investment in her. But so her skill 1 is a single target attack with up to a 70% chance to burn, which lasts for 2 turns. Her skill 2 is an AoE, which has up to 50% chance when skilled out to inflict 2 instances of burn for 2 turns on the enemy. And her skill 3 is just an AoE attack which deals increased damage when inflicted with burn on the enemy. Now, notably, her skill 2 is her burst, and when you burst her, the level 1 gives an extra turn. So you can see you can do the simple combo of level 1 burst, applying the burn into level 2 burst, into level 2 for some burst damage, I should say. So it pairs quite synergistically well. In terms of her exclusive equipment, it gives extra effectiveness against Earth for the implicit, which is okay. Free effectiveness is still good, and the effective itself, elemental burst, has a 50% chance to increase attack and defense for 1 turn when attacking an enemy afflicted with burn. So elemental burst is her skill 3. So it's, it means you're only getting this. You're not going to get the attack before you use it. It's going to be after. So you're going to do like a do your burns into the skill 3, and then you'll have some attack and defense up. And if you paired it together with a Cindy or something to extend the buff, it could be okay. But all in all, I feel like it's a pretty weak exclusive equipment to have. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at her chains as well. So her chain effect is going to be another way to get burn on units, so 100% to put burn on all units. So this is quite nice, and she's a companion effect, which means she can kind of sit anywhere and do the job. And the dual attack is another way to put burns in, a 70% chance for 2 turns. So she pairs quite well with with chain teams and with dual attack teams. So in terms of burn itself, we can see the tooltip applies damage proportional to attack at the start of the turn and ignores defense. So ignoring defense is a really nice, mechanic to have. The burn itself cannot crit. So if you are really going all in on the burn itself, it's only going to scale off of attack. However, these skills do have normal damage components. These all attack and do damage based on your overall damage stats. So stats like crit rate, crit damage are still useful for the initial damaging hit, but they do not work on the burn portion. Only attack works on there. So it's up to you if you want to choose to scale all into attack or get some crit rate and crit damage for the initial hit as well. Although I will say, getting your attack really high on a 2-star base unit, even on a 3-star base unit, getting it high, getting it up over 4,000 is really quite a feat. So, there's kind of diminishing returns the more you invest into it, because you're going to lose a lot of your other stats. So where you can use her, I would say stay clear of her in PvP. She's going to be like a PvE unit only. I say this because at the moment the new Demiurge Stella is running wild, and any debuff on her is going to proc her counter attack, and Tia as well is extremely prevalent. She's going to cleanse anytime your units get debuffed, so she's pretty much going to be useless in PvP. She's a PvE only unit, really. The tower boss is not immune to burn, which is nice. The other place that you might use her, well, most of the story bosses aren't immune to burn. Your gear dungeons, if you're looking at doing on element ones, with early advantage, Chimera, she works well in Chimera. Okay, Chimera is not immune to burns. You can put her in a normal team composition for this dungeon with Valentine, with Eternal, with Tio, and with Iris, and she does, you know, about a 4-minute run with those guys with decent gear. However, the place I think that she excels the most at is going to be in the Twins dungeon, which is in your weapon and accessory dungeon. Now, these guys have they have their own mechanic where are we? If you inflict them with burn, they become unhealable, and part of their kit is that they heal each other after a certain amount of turns, and another part of their kit is that they counter attack when you do AoE damage. Okay, so where are we? Yes, they counterattack when you do AoE damage. So into this dungeon, you want to use single target units only, basically, or you're going to get counterattacked and stacked with poisons. Having the ability to put this unhealable as well by applying burns works really nicely too. So first thing we'll do before we go through a quick run of this, we're just going to test the burn damage and see how it scales. So like I said earlier, we're at 3408. Now mages get an implicit 10% extra attack bonus. Okay, that's just their base bonus stats for being a mage. I'll show you in the character window. So if you didn't know this, all classes get their own little bonus. Mages get 10% bonus. This doesn't show up in the stat window here, so we have to add that on top. So if we take our number, our attack number, which is 3,408, and we add the extra 10% to that, we get a number of 3749. Okay, so that's our effective attack stat when we're in the dungeon. So we'll go ahead and we'll lay a burn down, and we'll see how much exactly we do. See what percentage of our attack we get as burn. So hopefully we land a burn. We didn't get the first one. And guys, this is a little bit of the problem with burns. They're not very reliable. You get 70% chance on this, you get 50% chance on this if they're max skills, and the other burn units don't have any better chances either, so it's not totally reliable. We'll see here, so 1872. So I'll pop these numbers up on the screen afterwards, once I've done the second part of the test, but essentially the quick math comes out to 50% of your attack. So 3,749 was our attack, and our burn was 1,872. So that's going to come out to 49.93. So what we're going to do quickly now is we're going to just unequip the weapon and just make sure that our results were accurate before. So we got 1,910. Again, we're going to factor in that extra 10% we get from being a mage, which is going to come out to 2,101. To 2,101. And so if our 50% assumption of 50% of attack as burn damage is correct, we should see a number around 1,050, give or take. So let's see. Okay, we got the burn first up. Okay, so 1,048. So there you go, guys. So it's effectively 50% of your attack stat is what your burn scale into. So let's go back, and we are going to put the full team in and just have a quick look at how it goes with the mechanics. I'm not going to do the whole run because with this team it takes about 10 minutes, so it's not the quickest, but it's reliable, quite a reliable and easy way to get it done, just so that you can at least unlock your auto battle runs. So we'll put the weapon back on. We have one there, and we will jump back into the fight. Alrighty, let's go. So like I said, in this battle, you only really want to use single target attacks. If you're using AoEs, it's going to proc their counter attacks, and you're going to take a lot of damage from the poisons that ensue. it's okay depending on your stats and your team to maybe every now and then use a Veronica ulti for defense buff to help trigger more dual attacks, but I'd be careful. But she does excel here quite a lot. If you had to build her for any one specific use in the game, I would say it would be doing this boss. And keeping in mind that the devs have said they are introducing high difficulty versions of this boss, I think she will be quite available for running those. Because like I said, there's not actually a lot of burn units in the game at the moment. The other one is Party. Party has a burn detonation, which I haven't particularly found a good use for it yet. And his burns also have a lower % chance to activate than Iris. So I think Iris is probably the pick of the bunch in terms of this kind of specific content. So I'm not gonna play the full footage of this fight because it does take approximately 10 minutes of this comp, but it is a relatively safe way to get it done. And then, like I said, you can farm it with your skip tickets if you really want the gear from this dungeon. But prioritizing using dual attacks with your Veronica and with your Valentine, you're going to proc a lot of extra burns with her dual attack. And as you can see, these stack up really quite high. The amount that you can get in a team with dual attacks. There may be some use down the track with other units like Laplace, for example, who scales her damage based on the amount of debuffs that you inflict on a target. It's not something I've particularly tested yet myself because I haven't found a situation where it's advantageous over another composition, but it might be useful in the guild raids, for example, where we get a whole bunch of extra debuffs and buffs to our point score depending on what composition we use. And this is basically how it goes. You just kill these bosses one at a time. Yeah, so that's about all I've got to show you for this unit and for burns. The burn mechanic itself is pretty straightforward. It's just 50% of your attack scales into a burn. Burns can't crit and they ignore defense. Problem being, there's not a lot of reliable ways to land burns. These all have quite a low activation rate. The best way to do it is coupling them with probably same element teammates to build your chain effect and get the guaranteed burns from here, and dual attack units as well to get additional burns. Again, if they put out really tanky units, it is a good way to deal consistent damage to them. But overall, I think at the moment it's a bit lackluster. However, she is probably one of the best units to take as a damage dealer to the Twins gear dungeon. So if you enjoyed the content today and you'd like to see more of the same, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, my name's Shredder and I will see you later.